And we're live. All right. And Matt is back. Hey, Matt.
Mac, hello.
So again, I think there's meetings for the meetings that the meetings will be having. So yeah, Japan loves their meetings.
Meaning,
Yeah, so things got rescheduled, and yeah, and they ate up the next Friday. So yeah, it's amazing we've actually been able to do it in person as long as we have, because yeah, companies in this country are very unpredictable. No, they have zero respect for your your time, and they won't pay you for it. That's the funny thing, is they load you down with work, and then they say, yeah, but you can't work over 8 hours, so don't even think about staying late. We're definitely not going to pay you. Yeah, fun stuff.
do they at least give you like food when you're at a meeting, or they don't even do that?
Oh, probably there probably is. Japan is really good with like tea and biscuits and things, but not anything very much. It'll just be bottles of water or bottles of tea probably, and it depends on the company. Some of the shadier companies are not about anything. Yeah, I've never been to Chris's office, so I don't know. I don't know the deal. I've seen some, similar, comparable companies, and they're pretty bad. So I don't
Yeah.
know. But I think they're in a new building though. I think they like when they moved to a new office building, which is kind of rare. But yeah, Japanese offices. If anybody's ever seen that, like you have these like images, like you see American, especially like game design offices, like game studios and publishers, and it's just all crazy. There's signage everywhere, and full scale, like 1-to-1 character statues, from their famous games and stuff everywhere. Japanese game studios, it's literally just a bunch of desks pushed together in like clumps of 8 or 10. You're facing each other. You got somebody at each elbow, and you're just sitting crammed in a little space. Like there's nothing luxury about it, and there's not even cubicles. Like there's just nothing. And usually the manager will sit at a head desk of a group of desks, so they don't even have an office you go to. It's silly. Yeah, it's very very Spartan, very practical. So yeah, even those people that working for Nintendo or whatever, they don't have the bowling alleys and buffets to choose from their breakfast cereals and stuff like all the tech companies in the US do.
Don't get that American nonsense.
Yeah, they're trying to keep you there, but they know they've got you, so they're not trying to make it comfortable. There's no like relaxation room or de-stressing space or anything like that. Go sleep in your car if you got a problem with it.
Oh boy.
Fun stuff. So yeah, so we had our second session of Outgunned, our second flick for Outgunned Southbound. Good stuff. That was that's really fun. It's been a fun mystery to unravel, and yeah, you did a good job with the setting and stuff. There's a lot of interesting combinations of stuff.
Cool. Thanks, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm hoping everybody's fun.
Mm-hmm.
It's always weird because it's like I don't want to like force anything to happen,
Mm-hmm.
so I just have to like let. Oh, they didn't really pick up on that thread. I ain't gonna worry about it.
Right. Yeah, and it's good. You haven't done anything that's like such a trope or such a cliche that as soon as we see it, we're like, oh, okay. We're like instantly, yeah. So that's good. Yeah, it's really nice, like combinations and like repurposing of stuff. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens. We'll just crash a truck into a big house again, I think.
Yeah. This is gonna become like one of those 80s like Uncommon Valor. What's that one that Chuck Norris did where he went back to Vietnam and tried to rescue his buddies?
Yeah, I don't remember the title. Yeah. I can like see the poster basically.
Attack the camp, don't care.
Yep,
just do it.
Yeah, just Predator style. Just, just launching mortars and yeah. Yeah, it'll be fun to see. And yeah, tomorrow we're gonna try And we're not going to use their regimented like itinerary, but we're going to try a session 0 for Daggerheart. And I'm going to ask everybody to blink twice that's in the session so that we know there's no critter like off camera holding a gun on them, forcing them to play this game. I never
make everyone pan their camera around.
Yeah. There's no one in the room with you, is there? Yeah. It's funny. So yeah, I never thought we would. I never thought we'd play it. I was curious, like what the game was like, and the more that I'm reading it, the more I'm just like not impressed. I'm really surprised. Like, it feels a lot like they're trying to walk almost too many lines. Like people that come from video games and people that come from storytelling games, or they want to push people, in that kind of powered by the apocalypse direction. And so there's like something for everyone, but not enough of anything. It's really an odd combination. And I think that was the criticism of Candela Obscura, is it wasn't enough of anything. It's just kind of this like, just a bland kind of, mush. They didn't go too far in any direction. So you got a little bit of, investigation and then a little bit of the, supernatural, but it's not powerful in the system or in the setting. So
yeah, it's almost like they're just trying to signal to different sort of RPG fans different things, but they're not really fulfilling any of them. Like, we're calling everything moves, but it's not really moves like in Power Behind the Power, or what is it called?
Powered by
the Apocalypse.
BBTA.
Powered by the Apocalypse.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they're not really like that. We're gonna have lots of weapons and armor, but we're not going to tell you how to buy it, or
right, yeah.
And we're going to put it into this weird tier system that literally says that the game master just decides when these new ones appear.
Right.
What the hell are we doing?
Yeah, I was surprised with the combat too. There was a lot of, just like, when you want stuff to happen and how it happens. So they leave it open to using miniatures on a grid, or tokens on a grid, but there's not really rules for it. So you're just kind of moving stuff around until you're done moving stuff around. And it's a little loosey goosey with the, there's very little simulation in it at all. And really kind of leaning towards storytelling. So it'll be fun to see like how weird that can get, like how like uncomfortable it can get. And then I hit it with my axe, and I hit it with my axe, and I hit it. So if you're not going to share and be a generous player, you can just take control for a long time of the game. It's very odd. There's not much, unless you fail bad, there's not much to stop you from just wrecking house.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's very funny. Yeah, there's some things I think that are kind of implied in how they wrote the rules, that I don't think everyone is going to, be on board with. And it's interesting that the book itself is such a compendium of new rules, like disability rules and the combat wheelchair and the lines and veils and X cards. Like, it's such a compendium of that stuff. Like, they probably spend like 20 pages in the book just collecting from people, the creators that came up with that stuff, all of these kind of new game rules that have been fashioned throughout these these very cautious times. So yeah, that's a strange part of that book, is they spend so much time doing that, and it's not their in-house stuff. It's not their idea that fits into the system. It's bolted on stuff that people from other designers with other games in mind, mostly like 5e, have created. So.
Well, and that's kind of the weird thing about it, is everything in there feels kind of bolted on. Like nothing seems like to naturally dovetail with the next thing, and they don't follow through with a lot of stuff. Like, there's nothing in that book except for the section where they have their sort of sample world ideas.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing in there to give you an idea what is the feel of this game. You know, the closest they get is their weird little thing about gold, where they basically say we're not going to tell you how much stuff costs. You know, you can just the game master can just you know, give you things when he feels is appropriate. But if you want to play a game where things have costs, and the getting gold is more important, then your game master will set prices for everything. It's like, well, why am I paying you? You know,
Right.
what's the point of me paying you?
Yeah. It's funny. That's true. With that much missing, that is putting so much on the game master to like, okay, can you just come up with, you know, gold coin prices for everything? Okay, give me a week. I'll get back to you. Yeah, and I wonder if this gets supported a lot, if like the community really starts, you know, home brewing and kind of coming up with their own systems and stuff, it's going to get strange. We'll see like very quickly the missing pieces of the weaknesses and the stuff that people, you know, thought needed to be added right away. I guess kind of like a modding for video games and stuff. Like immediately they're like, yeah, that doesn't work here. I wrote this better system, or here's better textures for these characters. So we'll see that. Yeah, I don't know. I'm really curious, like overall, if this is going to have any staying power, or if it's just going to be something that they even have to remind themselves, oh, that's right, we're playing Daggerheart during the, you know, Critical Role session. So like, oh, right, yeah. Yeah, it's very funny.
Missing in Action.
Yeah,
Age of Adventure. Knew the name of that movie I couldn't think of.
Thank you. Yeah. I hate when that stuff slips.
I gotta see, because I should go back and look at that, because I don't know what came out first, Missing in Action or Rambo 2.
Oh, well, that's a good
because
question.
they both have a scene where they come out of the water and shoot a machine gun. Like, I remember vividly, I think when I was a kid, I must have watched Missing in Action way more than I did Rambo 2, because I can picture Chuck Norris just firing an M60 in the water.
Right. Yeah. That's great. I can't believe, that genre, that is such a heavy duty 80s genre, you know, the kind of Rambo likes, you know, that were created, all of the, and the, you know, the original First Blood, that was a pretty messed up, intense book, you know, and I can't believe it became a franchise of, you know, Rambo helping Bin Laden or whatever by Rambo 4.
and First Blood is dramatically different than the rest of the Rambo movies, too.
Right. Yeah.
It's a much smaller film. I would go so far to say it's a little better film than the other Rambo movies, because they're actually dealing with like the Vietnam vet with, you know, has, you know, obviously has PTSD or something, and, you know, it's just it's a little more real, I guess.
Yeah, kind of like the Rocky movies too. You know, it's like the first one was like made with heart, and you could tell there was some real, you know, stuff put in there, like to make this, you know, this small town boy done good kind of. I guess if Philadelphia is not that small, but you know, that kind of feeling, the underdog kind of feeling, and then the, you know, Rocky sequels are just silly. it just got dumb. But to say same sort of thing, and I wonder how much of that is Stallone like finally saying, you know what the fans would like thinking too much about the audience or something, and leaving the initial.
3 and 4 are for sure silly.
Right.
Like, those are peak silly.
Yeah. And after watching like Raging Bull, the boxing scenes in Raging Bull, and then the boxing scenes in Rocky, you're like, okay, this is just nonsense. This is not boxing. Yeah, that's very funny.
I was watching Red Letter Media did one of their best of the worst episodes, and one of the films was Jim Cotta.
Oh
Have you
yeah,
seen Jim
oh
Cotta?
yeah. I think I saw that in the theater. Yeah,
Whoa! I
yeah,
hadn't seen it in forever. I think I saw it on Mystery Science Theater or something. It burned it out of my brain, but oh my god. There's a part where he's like chased into a town square by these crazy villagers,
hmm
and there's this well kind of thing, but looks suspiciously like a pommel horse.
yes, yes.
And he just jumps on it and starts doing pommel horse tricks and kicking people.
Yeah, and they just kind of take their turns approaching him and getting kicked in the face. Yeah,
And there's like an alley scene where there's just a bar across the alley for no reason.
right.
And he
right.
jumps on it, starts kicking people, and if you look at it, you can see the chalk on his hands.
That's right.
So good.
Yeah, yeah. I remember that trailer very much. That was like, yeah, I saw that trailer in the theater a lot too. So I'm like, oh, this could be good, and of course it wasn't. Yeah. I think like that was during that phase where we would just meet at the movie theater and just buy one ticket and stay all day. We would just, we would buy a ton of like, popcorn and sweets and stuff, but we would only buy one ticket and then just jump theaters all day because they really didn't care. It was a good babysitter.
Yeah, we did that in the 80s a lot.
Yeah. Yeah, it was before they started like having to like card people for R-rated movies. I guess that was prior to NC-17. Like there wasn't NC-17, so there wasn't anything that terrible you were going to see. But as soon as like the ratings got closer to X, then they started checking driver's licenses at the door.
Oh, we were bad, dude. I remember like one person would go in, get a ticket, go in the theater early, go to the fire door and open it and let everybody in.
Yep, the one-way door. That's right.
And nobody would say shit.
I'm amazed that there is such a thing as a movie theater anymore with how much money they lost. Yeah, that's really funny. Back in the day. Wow. Yeah. I think that Jim Cotta, that film had such a weird setting. That would be a fun, like, mysterious town kind of setting for an RPG. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you can get inspiration. Because I think I was actually thinking about this the other day. There's a lot of bad, like really bad movies that if you translated them into just a role playing adventure, no one would feel like it was bad. It would just be awesome,
Mm-hmm. No, that's true. Yeah. The inspiration, it would, because you're not, you don't have the same kind of demands and stuff from an adventure and
your
RPG.
mind is visualizing it, so your mind is an excellent director, right?
Right. Yes.
With all the budget it needs.
Yeah, that's very true.
Oh, Arturo says the next setting for Outgun should be American Ninja.
Yeah.
No.
Uh-oh. Matt's put this right down.
Revenge of the Ninja is the best 80s ninja movie, and I will die on that hill.
Nice. Nice. Yeah, very cool. Yeah, good to see everybody in the chat. Hey, Paul, how's it going? And Age of Adventure, yeah, thanks for the thanks for hitting us with the titles. It's always hard on stream to think of names and titles and stuff. It's a big weakness. That's why we have a chat. That's why we have people that can easily.
Oh, go ahead.
Oh no, just in the in the comfort of their own homes, answer questions that we're trying to think of on the spot. What were you going to say?
Oh, I was just going to say the best thing about us playing Daggerheart tomorrow is, and I guess probably next Friday, is then when we get kind of snooty about it later, we can say, well, we did play it.
Yeah, exactly. It wasn't just looking at the publisher who's responsible and then instantly saying, we did try to make it work and this is what was wrong with it.
And I think it'll work fine. I just reading through the rule book and thinking about character creation and everything, I have a sneaky suspicion it won't be a game I'll be super eager to come back to later, you know? But as far as playing it, I'm sure it'll be fine and everyone will have a great time.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the interesting thing too, when people get really into the minutia of rules and, oh, I don't like games that do this, and I like games with classes, and I don't like games that do too many skills, or, you know, they have these preferences. But if you've got a good group and you're telling a fun story, a lot of the mechanics are just like, yeah, whatever, just whatever dice I have to roll, whatever I have to do, I have to flip a coin and turn around 3 times, fine, whatever. This is just fun. It's just fun what we're doing. Yeah. Yeah.
I'm going to use that. Nope. Turn around 3 times. I can't see you, so did you do it?
But yeah, it should be fun.
I thought about in that adventure yesterday, really milking the Danny Truvo having to answer the phone thing.
That was great. Yeah, I came back to that.
Like, I should have like 3 more calls before I got to the one where you actually had to go do something.
That was so funny. Yeah. And Will just rolled with it. Just like, yeah.
Danny Turbo.
That was great. Yeah, that was so funny. I couldn't stop with Turbo. That was the best.
Oh, by the way, for the people who've been watching, there will be a post-credit scene after the adventure is over, so hang out with us tomorrow night.
When I look back and watch the first session, those newspaper headlines and everything you did at the beginning to kind of recap worked really well. That looked good on stream and everything. Yeah, that worked really well. I'm glad that Alchemy was able, to do that kind of show, like full screen graphics. Because
did you hear in the montage part where you're in the airport? There was a whole thing of JB on the phone. Did you hear it?
I turned it up. Yeah, I ended up turning up, but it was like, oh, there is somebody talking. And you're like, yeah. You said I can tell you what's being said, but yeah, I ended up turning it up just a few seconds into it when it was too low. But and I can put that back in too if we do. If I do like an edit of the whole session, we can put some of those sounds back in.
I don't want to get like too reliant on pre-programmed stuff. I just I was just having some fun,
Yeah. No, that is fun, and I think that it's nice that the VTT we're using has that kind of flexibility. There's some interesting ways to bring in media and stuff. That's very fun. Yeah, they really. I think Alchemy did a nice job of like theater of the mind, but visually interesting. Like there's something interesting to look at. You're not like walking around on it or anything, but it has a lot of good thematic and immersive graphics or media. That's good.
Yeah,
good stuff.
We just got to figure out what it is with Will's computer.
Oh yeah, yeah.
He's got a new computer and he's still having problems. I'm like, how is this happening?
Yeah. It's very funny. Yeah, but hopefully there'll be enough of the same type of problems, similar situations. But yeah, I was having the same situation as Will the first session, but now it was much better. And I did get that warning that it needed to reload. It needed to update the app and reload. So they may just need to do something where you're like manually checking for updates and manually installing updates just to make sure, because that might get maybe we'll have some notification or something turned off on the system overall that is not letting that happen, or it's a Windows driver issue or something where things just get blocked.
Yeah, I haven't been on their Discord in a while. I'll have to go back through their people asking questions about problems and stuff.
That's cool. Oh, yeah, Paul's saying, I'll be interested to see if Daggerheart Works Raw. Had fun time playing back in March, but I'm not sure if GM hosting the event was filling in the holes, the rules with general role-playing skills. Yeah, that's true, too. I did feel when I was reading the rules that they are trying to be very introductory and, kind of simplify things for people, but you actually don't have enough information to run the game well. So if this is the first game you've ever run and you're picking up Daggerheart, it's going to be tricky. They focus on too much. It's like you make the players comfortable, have good communication, do this, do that, and then but setting and world and structuring a story, bringing them into the narrative, giving them a motivation to actually do stuff. Yeah.
They figure it out.
Yeah, right. You know all that stuff. We're just telling you to be kind. Yeah, so it is interesting to see what would somebody that's never played before like make of this game, because it has a lot of assumed knowledge.
Maybe they're trying to. This is going to sound dumb, but maybe they're trying because they are leaving D&D essentially, right?
Right.
And creating a product that they'll use on their show instead of D&D, but also hopefully, I'm sure they're hoping they will gather in D&D players who are fans of their show to switch to this game. Mm-hmm. So maybe they're trying to create an environment where the GMs of Daggerheart bitch about all the work they have to do to prep as much as D&D DMs do, because no DMs bitch about prep as much as 5e.
Yeah.
They agonize over balancing all their encounters and everything. It's just like, it's so annoying.
Yeah, I wonder what what they're going to do, because I haven't seen anything. There may be something out there already, but I haven't seen anything about what they're going to do with their licensing deal, as far as making third parties making content for Daggerheart. And because there's an SRD out there, I'm not sure if it's Creative Commons or what they did with that. But if there's an SRD, then they're obviously wanting to license it or let people develop for it. So I'll have to read more about that, because there's probably a section on their website or something, or the Void, that site that they specifically set up to make announcements for, new content. And I wonder if they'll just fall into that same kind of 5e trap, though, where they're just like new subclass, new spells, new ancestry. It's like, okay. And now there's 7,500 ancestries, every type of animal.
But we still don't get a game world or anything.
Yeah, right. Right.
Arturo said, "No, Jeremy, the real question is, will people fall in love with Jason Momoa?"
That's true. That's what we'll find out for sure. We're going to start seeing the fan art go up on all the boards, the Daggerheart boards.
Sexy ass Jason Momoa.
Oh, man. Yeah, so you're thinking frog, right? You've got like a Mr. Toad kind of idea?
Yeah, I'm going to play one of the druids. I forgot which branch it is already. But yeah, frog druid who I think just character-wise might be the opposite of Jason Momoa. Like a very nervous, easily distressed frog, basically.
Nice. And Will was talking about playing a slow turtle.
Yeah, and you were talking him into doing the Gamera thing, which I think he should.
That would be hysterical. Yeah, that's such an odd. See, I could feel what they were trying to do by backing way off of any of the ancestry traits. Like all the ancestry traits are not coded to strength or beauty or intelligence or anything. They're just these weird things, but they're weird almost to the point of uselessness. So that, the turtle can tuck himself in to his shell and he gets some trait that, makes him, hard to hit. And, but then he can't really do anything, but they are mechanically saying he has like a disadvantage to doing things while in his shell. It's very odd and confusing. And the cat ancestry has claws, but all the claws do is kind of a distraction. Like they make you vulnerable. Like they can give you the vulnerable trait. They don't do any damage. They just scratch you, and now you're like more easily damaged the next time you're hit. It's really odd.
Sort of like a combat trick, like knocking them off balance.
Yes. Yeah. Right. Yeah. It's like a flat-footed or kind of putting somebody in a stance. And the one that really, and it comes up a couple of times, that doesn't make a lot of sense is flight. Like that's a huge overpowered thing, and they just give you an advantage to evasion, or like you can raise your evasion rating, or you can it does something in combat where you can attack differently in combat, but very small differences. Like, no, this is flying, this is flight, and in a under a subterranean tunnel, it's not going to be that useful. But in a lot of situations, flight is going to be incredibly. You don't have to attack anyone; you just have to lift them up to a height and drop them on their heads. It's like that's incredibly powerful. But they don't mechanically kind of give you any idea what that would be.
Yeah. Well, like the frogs they can put it out their tongue, and in the description it says they can grab stuff, but the only thing they explain mechanically is that it can do a D12 attack.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, okay, well, how far can I grab things?
Right. Yeah,
that's another thing. Will and I were talking about that. It's like they half-assed their range system too, because they labeled everything, in words instead of actual measurements. But then they explain what every word's measurement is.
Right. Yes.
And it's like, guys, if you're going to do that, just do zones. Just do zones and be done with it. Don't get all this colorful language that just confuses people, because, there's so many words, and this is a big problem for Will, but it's like you could say close, short, near, and you could literally argue about which one of those should be, which one of those should be closer to you. You know what I mean? And like, it's like, just use zones if you don't want to play on a grid or something.
Right. Yeah, that was very funny. Yeah, there was something. Oh yeah, it seemed like just about all of the kind of horns or tusks or anything that made any of the ancestries visually unique. They, for that trait, then they made that an attack. So you can hit things with your horns, you can gouge things with your tusks. Like everything is so you're hitting somebody with a sword and you're gouging them in the face with tusks at the same time. It's gonna get that's a lot of damage too. That's very early on, you guys are going to be swinging pretty heavy on on your opponents.
I think if they really wanted to kind of go this route, then there should have been a menu of 6 or 8 species abilities under each one.
Mm-hmm.
And when you make your character, get to tick 2 of them, so that, because they, in the art, in the descriptions, they really play up how, there's a lot of variation in each species, like the frogs, there's a million kinds of frogs, and the giants for some reason are like 5 feet to 8 feet or something like that.
Right.
None of those measurements is giant. But just give me a menu. If you're going to go that route, give me a menu so that my giant can be cool, but a little different than that other person's giant, or whatever.
Yeah, that was the thing that made me feel it was kind of video gamey. Is you get a set of cards that represent all the abilities and spells, and you have your domains, and you choose, either one from each or 2 from one of the domains. But if you have somebody else with another class that would share a domain, they say, don't pick the same card. Like, don't pick the same ability, so that there's variety. And that feels very video game. It's just like, why would you intentionally do that? Yeah.
Artificial.
Yeah.
But we should probably stop bitching about Daggerheart until we can prove we've played it.
That's right. This is just a reading the rules complaint. Yeah, so it'll be, and it'll probably feel very different in the game session, because we won't be thinking about anything that's missing. Although I remember some OSR games when we were playing more rules light versions where a player would have a question about like encumbrance or something. It's like, oh, well, this system doesn't use that, and they were like, oh, it's it kind of stopped things. Kind of like, oh, okay, well, okay. It felt really weird, just like, I guess that's missing. That's
Yeah.
yeah. So we'll have a little bit of that, I think, when it's just like, no, just use your imagination. How many spears do you think you can carry?
Yeah. That's funny you should mention that, because like whenever encumbrance comes up for me, I have this vivid memory of a Palladium campaign I played in the 90s.
Mm-hmm.
It's like one of the longer campaigns I played, and the GM didn't want to deal with encumbrance, so he just hand waved it.
Mm-hmm.
And then there was this huge battle, and one of the players, this lady, was playing this fighter who used a halberd,
Mm-hmm.
and she in combat, she's like, all right, well, I'm gonna switch to my halberd that has like this such and such property. And he's like, you have 2 halberds? And she's like, oh, I got like 4 halberds. And he's like, you're walking around with 4 halberds? Are they stilts? What's going on here?
Right. Yeah. So we'll see how that comes up, and our handfuls of gold and our sacks full of gold and all that good stuff.
I figure if Abyss makes some animal type species character too, we can be like the Barnyard 4 or something.
Right. You'll have to play an instrument or something. You can be the all right. Yes.
The zoo crew.
The zoo crew. Oh no.
We have a morning show on AM radio.
Yeah. Traffic and rude humor.
Yeah.
Nice. All right. Well, should we get started for this week? A bunch of nonsense as usual. All right. Yeah, good to see everybody in the chat. Let me just take a quick glance before we move on. But yeah, should be fun. Oh yeah, Paul says rules light in OSR usually translate to we didn't play test this much. Yeah, good point. All right. Welcome to the weekly. I'm Jeremy.
I'm Matt.
Hey,
oh
Matt.
My god, I'm sorry.
It's okay.
I'm so sorry.
And that's Matt.
I was reading a comment from Miguel. He's distracting me with tariff talk. Sorry.
Miguel. No problem. And this week on the weekly, so Matt is here with me again, and Chris is still in meetings. This has been a week-long meeting, and well, let's see what is in store for us this week. So this week on the weekly, a little bit of tariff talk, Catalyst price hikes, and some CMON news kind of related to tariffs. Free RPG Day 2025, Warhammer apologizes, and Neon City Outlaws on Kickstarter. So I don't have our bumper, but let's start with our Tales of the Trade Wars. It's kind of like a very it might not ever be a thing, but it does sound like some companies have been hit with big bills already. So Catalyst Game Labs is announcing they are increasing prices based on tariffs. So they've had to pay $240,000 for products on the water when tariffs were announced. The price increase is on all of their non-book products, because there was a decision not too long ago that said it's not considered a game if it's only a book, and books are not going to be aren't going to be included in these tariffs. So yeah, $240,000 unexpected import prices means that for BattleTech, Forcepacks and Box Sets will go up by $5. Salvage Box products will go up by $1, but none of their source books, and including the Shadowrun RPG books, because of the ruling, will not increase in price. So this is just mostly for plastics and game things that consider game items. So yeah, 30% increase from 10%. And they say because they faced a 30% increase, to balance this out, they're doing a 10% increase in MSRP on these products. They're still doing some contingency planning for what's going to happen in the future, coming up with a variety of scenarios. But for right now, they're passing that burden on to the consumer. CEO Laren Coleman said, "Things may change, but the gaming industry will endure. Battletech and Shadowrun will endure. If you can spare a kind word of support for your local game stores or your favorite publishers, then yeah, do that. Nothing means as much to us as hearing kind words of support from our customers." So I don't know if Catalyst is a cute little local company that you want to cheer on, but definitely the game stores are going to be hit by this because prices are going up for them and wholesale as well. So that recent ruling was the Customs Service. This is 2024. U.S. Customs Service ruled that RPG books should be classified as books, not games. So that was in April of 2024, and this kind of overrides a 1989-1990 ruling that RPGs were games. So that was the thing that was in question. So they're exempt from these China tariffs, and they will. Maybe some companies will decide that they'll import rulebooks separately. They'll kind of divide things up and not kind of, package things together so that they can at least get the books in without any additional cost. But things like dice, maps, figures, and record sheets will push things into the game category, which will make them tariffable. And another piece of news kind of based on, and this was happening before tariffs were announced, but CMON was on some shaky financial ground and they were having some trouble, and now we know that they're bankrupt and they're selling stuff off. So Tabletop Tycoon has acquired 5 board games from CMON. So and some of these were the or one group of these, maybe I actually think all of them are Eric M. Lang designed games. So Tabletop Tycoon from CMON has purchased Eric M. Lang's Blood Rage, Rising Sun. We were just talking about Rising Sun.
Yes, we were.
ANKH, Gods of Egypt, Arcadia Quest, and Starcadia Quest. I think he was involved in all his design credit with all of those games. But so a statement from Dan Yarrington, the CEO and founder of Tabletop Tycoon. "We are looking forward to reissuing, remastering, and extending these lines into the future." So that's good news that those aren't going to disappear, because I think that was a really good thing to come out of that kind of golden age of crowdfunding board games, is these big Ameritrash, so much plastic, so much upgrading of cardboard components into wood and plastic and acrylic. We got all kinds of crazy, like, over the top, and it's not the boutique deluxe, sandalwood, hand oiled stuff, but the real American trashy stuff where it's just a lot of crazy pieces of plastic and a lot of as much stuff as you can cram into a coffin sized box. That's great that these will continue to exist, and they may at some point, because if they have the rights to these games, then that's everything that's been produced for them for those crowdfunding campaigns. So we may see a lot of that stuff come back on the market. But so Tabletop Tycoon, they've got a portfolio of a lot of miniatures board games. The company's been on an acquisition spree in 2025. They picked up Canvas from R2I Games and buying Mariposa Games outright. So their Trailblazer line, I guess. Mariposa Games Trailblazer line. So they're buying a bunch of board games to maybe, hopefully build a portfolio that that will sell well and will help keep these games alive. So that's very rare, maybe kind of happy acquisition news, because who knows what would have happened to these CMON games. Otherwise these might have just been IPs that just got orphaned and never picked up again. So it would be impossible to reprint or support any of the games.
Yeah, it's very timely since we were just talking about Rising Sun.
Yeah.
I might have to buy their version when it comes out.
Right.
Hopefully all this tariff stuff will have settled down by then.
Yeah.
But, that's a real mess. Like, in addition to the whole, issue with RPGs, whether they're going to be considered games or books, they just recently, the International Trade Court invalidated the tariffs, but then immediately a federal appeals court suspended that invalidation. So, take a moment to pity like Lifetime's customs officers,
Oh,
because
yeah.
they must not know what the hell's going on from day to day.
Yeah, yeah. And they've got to be dealing with so much outrage, so many people who just, I can't pay that. It's like, okay, well, we can hold on to stuff. You're going to have to pay storage. We'll have to see how this goes. And yeah, so it's got to be just ridiculous.
Did have a couple like things I was worried about that I got good news. So, because I backed the Fighting Fantasy Kickstarter, and they just announced that everything's good and they've gone to print.
Nice.
And expect it in like 6 to 8 weeks of production time. I was like, wow, that's awesome. And Trevor of the Broken Empires, Trevor Duvall, he announced on Kickstarter and on the Broken Empires Discord that they've secured their printer and manufacturer in China. And he actually went into a lot of detail about who it was and everything. And he doesn't think they're gonna see a big impact, but they do have some doodads that could make it, their stuff could be considered a game. So I don't know if down the line he'll have to revise that statement, but at least they've got their printer now and they're gonna start working on everything. So some good news.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see how this affects things and how much they're gonna have to calculate, into prices now, where the pledge levels of Kickstarters and things are going to have to start, being higher just to compensate for what it's going to cost to, get stuff over the water. All right. Well, if you don't want to pay for anything, how about Free RPG Day 2025? That would be a place to pick up some free stuff. So it looks like a ton of publishers. And actually, I can switch over to the, because they don't have a good way to take a look at everything that's there. So we can switch over to a little screen of that. But it has been announced that June 21st is going to be Free RPG Day this year. And this was kind of inspired by, it started in 2007, inspired by Free Comic Book Day. So Free Comic Book Day was a way to send, bundles of kind of giveaway comics, to have like a table of giveaways at a comic book store that would get people into the store, and they would get like a issue 0 or, just a piece of a story, and then maybe be interested in buying more of that. And so with the kind of range of different kinds of games and smaller publishers, it was a good way to get attention away from Dungeons and Dragons at a game store and let people try smaller kind of one-shot adventures or kind of little quick starts. And so originally it was coordinated by a company called Impressions, an advertising marketing company, but in recent days, I think as of 2019, was handed over to ICV2 and Gaming Days, who coordinate the event every year. So there's a website, and let's take a look really quick at that website that shows us kind of the partners on the site here. Let's see if I can do this. Say, hey, oh, there's no Matt. Well, we'll hear Matt, but we just won't see Matt.
And Matt won't be able to comment for a minute while he catches up with seeing it on the stream.
Oh, that's right. Yes, so give Matt 7 seconds to respond. But so the publishing partners for this year's Free RPG Day, Obajima, 9th level. So Obajima, people have been talking about what they're offering, kind of a Studio Ghibli, Legend of Zelda-esque kind of cute. Cozy. I don't know if it's cozy, but a cute
cozy
setting.
Dungeon.
Yeah, for 5e, a setting. 9th level is giving us an indie anthology, and then also Thunder Road Vendetta, a zero prep adventure. If you want to do some car battling, Chaosium is doing a basic roleplay universal game engine quick start giveaway. So that's fun. The easy to use, accessible quick start, which powers Call of Cthulhu, RuneQuest, and Pendragon. Let's see who are these guys. Critical Kit is doing Wires in the Woods, another quick start to help you try out their stuff. Dispel is doing a D20, a deep sea D20. So yeah, there's a it looks like so not only books but like there's pins and dice and like little doodads. Don't Panic Games. It's got a Nobi Nobi quick start, which is very chibi kawaii. It's a deck of 24 cards. Yeah, that was I was surprised some of the card publishers were giving away sets of cards and stuff too. Exalted Funeral is doing a that Land of Eam, which is kind of like Muppets. It looks like a fantasy Muppet setting, as well as the Monty Python's Coke curricular medieval reenactment program. Yes.
Yeah.
So it's a quick start. Yeah, quick start for the rules, adventure, and pre-gens for the Monty Python RPG. And who else did Free League is doing a Dragonbane kind of a tournament adventure for Dragonbane, like kind of like the Sinking Tower that we played. This is the Magistrate's Gambit, which is a little bit more puzzle based. Yeah, a 2 hour. Yeah,
you gonna run that for us?
Sure. Yeah, that would be fun. Yeah, we got to take our pre-gens through this. So very little prep and kind of more puzzle based and puzzle and skill based. The actual RPG day is giving away Dungeon Qual QRAL, an adventure you can play with a QR code on your phone. Okay. Let's see. Goodman Games is The Dying Light of Castle White Rock for DCC.
Ooh,
yeah,
that one.
Yeah. And let's see who else jumps out here. Kobold Press is doing The Well of Shadows for Tales of the Valiant. A quick adventure unleashes undeath and the void energy of corruption into the world. Blood Legion soldiers are dispatched. Magpie is doing Laurel's Canopy for Root, for their Root RPG, the cute little animals board game and RPG. Marvel Multiverse role-playing game is doing some Tony Stark based thing. So it's a all new Thunderbolts adventure. Yeah, so they're tying it into the movies. So yeah, there's a upcoming Avengers expansion for the Marvel Multiverse role-playing game in September. So this is a little taste of that. Modifius is doing a quick start for Star Trek, Fallout, and their, what is that one? The Dreams and Machines. That's right. Their Dreams and Machines original collections.
There's two more for you, Jeremy.
Yeah, that's right. Star Trek. Paizo is giving us both Pathfinder and Starfinder adventures, The Scourge of Sheerleaf and The Battle for Nova Rush. Renegade, who is Hasbro's arm, Hasbro's licensing game arm, is doing G.I. Joe and Transformers roleplay. Oh, I think combined. I think they're teaming up. Just what we need. If you get My Little Pony in there, then you've got yourself a winning formula. Serious Dice. Oh, that's right. Serious Dice is doing Hank the Ranger pin, the like a enamel pin from the Dungeons and Dragons Saturday morning cartoon. This may be one of a series. Yeah, this may be one of a series. Let's see if they say how many. No, yeah, it's a must-have for D&D. D&D fans. And then, of course, finally, WizKids is giving you an unpainted, emphasis on unpainted.
Good choice, WizKids.
Baldur's Gate, the Emperor exclusive miniature. So the Nulzor's Marvelous Miniature Special Edition from Baldur's Gate 3, unpainted for you to not paint poorly. But yeah, very funny. So yeah, a real interesting mix, all of the bigger, kind of mid-sized independent companies showing up with some tastes of their RPGs. Not an overwhelming. Oh, Green Ronin too. That's right. They're doing an expanse, the Transport Union Edition Quick Start expanse for their game, for their expanse setting game. So yeah, lots of companies are showing up. So it's good to see that. It's good to see, because that is going to help, curious people try new stuff and actually, get into the game store in June. So hopefully it'll be good things for everybody involved. Yeah, but that does mean we do have a that might be, if it's low prep too, that might be a good thing. Once we're done with Daggerheart, we can dust off those Dragonbane characters and
That'd be fun.
get them going again. Yeah.
Yeah, there's a couple in there I want to grab. I want that DCC one. Yeah, that's cool. Too bad I hate my local game store. I might have to time a trip to the coast and patronize one of those nice game stores by where my brother and his family live. Cause
Nice.
our game store here, dude.
Yeah. Oh no.
We just can't have nice things here where I
Yeah.
live. It seems to be the rule.
What's their? Are they all full of Pokemon cards, or what's the kind of just the atmosphere?
It's cover charge
Oh.
to use the table. They when they support tournaments for like collectible card games and things, their prize support is abysmal. They keep giving away square footage, like reducing their like RPG and board game areas to make room for plushies and
Yeah.
like kitty toys and stuff. So like when you walk in, you think you're walking into like a toy store or something. It's just like it's just annoying.
I remember when I was growing up, one of the stores that I bought the early in the day Magic cards. The store was, a lot of card games and RPGs. And then for some reason, maybe they bought someone's old collection of Playboy magazines, but in this big glass case, they started just laying out all these like old 70s and 80s Playboys. I was like, what are you doing? It was such a random, odd thing to like just put on display in a game store. Yeah, what a choice. But
That is weird.
you never know. They're trying to make a buck. All right. Well, we did report on the sweeping GW kind of freezing of accounts and basically the lawsuit. This sweeping lawsuit that hit 280 sellers that Games Workshop was claiming were infringing on the Warhammer trademark, and they have targeted plenty of wrong companies. So on May 26th, there was an update, and there are, excuse me for a second here. There were dozens of companies now that have been dismissed, that have had their cases dismissed with prejudice. So it means or without prejudice. So they can go back and reopen these cases if it proves otherwise. But they're pretty sure this lawsuit or their algorithm, whatever they were using to do this, has determined that they weren't guilty of anything. They just got kind of swept up in this big culling. So some of the targets that shouldn't be on the list had their accounts frozen, and of course, disruption to their business. And they got this charming note from the law firm that was representing GW that just said, "I have noted that your store has been misidentified and included in the claim. I wanted to preemptively, I didn't know there's a hyphen in there, preemptively inform you that we have asked counsel to retract yourselves from the claim in question. My apologies for any inconvenience this has caused. Kind regards, Jamie Smith," from their brand protection. Ooh, he's the brand protection infringement manager. Nice. I wonder if he carries a sidearm. All right. But the thing that was funny is some of the names of the vendors that are now excluded, they dismissed the case against them, had some interesting names. So there was some Baron of Dice. One was Exterminatus. I thought that was a little impinging, but yeah, it's okay. Ultra Sprite, the Nexus Noah, Beetle Dash, SS Wargaming, and the one that was great.
SS Wargaming?
Yeah, SS Wargaming.
That's problematic. Holy shit.
And there was there was one that had just WH in the title. So it's like, I guess that would be, and a lot of them are just referred to like a generic code, like generic shop, whatever. Where was the Black Market? Yeah.
Oh, good.
The Black Market Miniatures. One shop was named Warhammer 40,000. And they had their case dismissed. And then WH Club was another. So, yeah, they it sounds like they're using your name, but I guess, yeah, maybe the products weren't exactly matching. So what were you going to say?
I'm going to open a storefront called Battle Mall.
Nice.
Battle Mall, and then figure out what 40,000 would be if I like dropped it down and just used like a square, you know,
Right. Yeah. So from the Brickle IP Group, the law firm representing GW in this, as a boutique intellectual property law practice, we can efficiently and cost effectively offer. We've offered over 30 years of combined experience and comprehensive spectrum of IP practices and areas and technology. So that probably means they just used an AI or something to grab up all of these accounts.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And that's why you've got, several dozen. So at least they've dismissed them at this point, and we'll see. And hopefully that didn't mean that they had too much disruption to their business just for getting swept up in that. So,
but it's made tons more ironic because just a day or two after we saw the news about them having to retract this stuff, we saw the news that they were doing a $20 million payout to their employees. And it's like, so you're going to destroy small businesses, but you're making so much money you can split up 20 mil amongst your employees.
Yeah.
It's insane.
Yeah, and you can tell, that was definitely to try to get some good news out there to override the bad, the bad.
Well, it's good news for the employees.
Yeah, right. Well, that brand defender guy is going to be taking an extra vacation this year. But so the cases were dismissed without prejudice, which means they can reopen them. But for now, they're safe. But I mean, a lot of this stuff, there is, a lot of, Chinese and Russian recasters and resellers that are doing illegal stuff with this, they're reselling actual Games Workshop products that they've been recreated some way with 3D printing or whatever. So they have a legitimate complaint with some of these, but when they're just going to grab everybody up, they're going to make people not want to support the hobby, but I don't think Games Workshop, I think they're at that point now where they don't really care, kind of like, Wizards of the Coast with D&D. They don't care if you're a fan of D&D. If you're not going to buy anything, if you're going to play the game and not buy anything, they're not interested. So, Games Workshop wants you to buy the new crap. They want you to buy the new rules. They want you to buy the new miniatures. They don't want you to be an old fan. They don't want you to be playing your old armies. That's useless to them. They want to piss you off, make you leave the hobby, and then hopefully in some release, upcoming release, that's going to be something to pull you back into a newer edition of the rules. Then you'll have to reinvest all over again to even be, viable.
The GW and WotC are at such a high level that they're actually sort of emulating that same trap that the big streamers are in now, where like they don't care if you really loved a TV series. It's going to get killed in 2 to 3 seasons because they just need to make new content to grab new people.
Right.
They already got you, and they've done a risk assessment. There's a good chance you will forget to unsubscribe. You know what I mean? Like, they don't care. And GW and WotC are kind of taking that same approach.
Yeah.
And those new Horus Heresy Marines look stupid.
Oh, you're talking about
I'm just putting it down. The giant shoulder pads look stupid.
The Saturnine, yeah.
I hate those.
Yes. So, and I can't believe that system is already on its 3rd rule set. I can barely remember that. That just feels like it just came out and they're already on 3rd edition. That's silly. Too fast. All right. So, lastly, let's take a look at something that might be fun, and it is on Kickstarter right now, and that is Rodney Thompson's Neon City Outlaws. So, Rodney Thompson is the designer of Lords of Waterdeep. He's worked on several editions of D&D, Star Wars: The Saga Edition, and he has his own publishing company, Scratchpad Publishing, which he started in 2018. They have their own system, game system that they use. I think it's a D100 is their in-house system, and they have done things like Dusk City Outlaws, which is like a fantasy heist setting, superheroes with their system called their setting called the Spectaculars, and now their third gaming system using the same as the previous two, Neon City Outlaws. So this is a cyberpunk kind of dystopian setting, but it's got some interesting differences. So a quote from Thompson, both Dusk City Outlaws and Spectacular use the same core resolution system as Neon City Outlaws, with this being the third time around. We've had a lot of actual play feedback to lean on. The game is certainly more clearly defines a lot of things that were more open-ended for GM's interpretation in previous editions. For example, in the two games, I encouraged the person running the game to introduce obstacles to the player's success in certain scenes and left it up to them to decide what a suitable obstacle was. In the new game, Neon City Outlaws, I'm trying to explain what a suitable obstacle would be in game terms and not just in terms of narrative. So they're making some adjustments to fit the setting more, which is always a good thing. And he goes on to say, when you're flipping through the gear section in a lot of games, you don't just pick a pistol, a sword, a sniper rifle, etc. You pick an Ares Predator or an Arasaka TK 1-20 Shigan. So in Neon City, the setting book, I've got pages that define the city's preeminent weapons manufacturers. And on these pages, they include where you can take weapons that you found, created, or obtained during the game and make that particular combination of base weapon and its keywords into a specific weapon that's now part of the setting. So they give you like manufacturers' names and kind of types of munitions and weaponry they would make and help you fit it into the actual setting, which is very cyberpunk. Like, if the 2077 game, cyberpunk game, it's just everything has a brand name on it. Every single thing you pick up has a brand name and a logo on it. So it's a fun idea, and that fits the setting a lot. Let's see. And so he also says it's very easy to feel powerless these days. So it's kind of speaking about why they wanted to make this setting. It's easy to feel powerless these days, to feel despair because the world is so big and so complicated, and even if you try and do what you think is right, it may not move the needle. So I wanted to create a game that, even for a brief moment of recreation, lets you feel like you can push back and have impact. There's a whole phase of the game in play which my volunteer playtest core is putting through its paces, called Revolution, where you kind of zoom out to the city scale perspective and make choices on behalf of the organization to which you belong, taking actions that have larger repercussions and that can eventually result in districts in the city declaring their independence, corporations being toppled, nigh immortal executives being brought to justice, etc. So the Revolution is about doing the kinds of things in other games that you would build a whole campaign around, but it allows you to evolve the city that you have created a little more rapidly and see bigger impacts over the course of just a few sessions. So that was a very interesting, very kind of different approach to a lot of cyberpunk settings we've seen. So they're on Kickstarter now until July 12th, and it looks like they're almost at their goal. So they're getting close to their $40,000 goal. About 2 weeks left. So you're playing in the game. The players are characters in a sprawling cyberpunk city. In this game, you take on the roles of criminals outside of the law, collectively known as the right kind of people, in caps. And so it builds off the same game structure as Dusk City. They're going to be producing a 240-page hardcover rulebook, a 96-page perfect bound setting book. And the GM in this game is known as the administrator. So the administrator's screen is something that will be produced. They'll also do several scenarios intended to get the game to the table quickly. Deluxe edition with a slipcase and also custom dice. So the 100 AC system has advantage and challenge dice that you roll along with your percentile dice, the D100s. advantage dice are D8s, and the challenge dice are D10s, and those are added. And because they're custom dice, they're not producing a value; they're producing an advantage or a disadvantage kind of thing. They're producing a challenge or an advantage. So you get maybe on half of the faces, you get an icon. So you could use non-custom dice, but you just have to remember it's like even or odds or whatever you're rolling. You're just creating some interpretable effects. So you can get several challenges or several advantages because you can roll multiples of those dice. And they can also be used in the previous systems as well. These same custom dice. Yes. So what does what does Neon City Outlaws offer that other cyberpunk RPGs don't? So a setting that you create during gameplay. You change your bodies as needed. So they're very heavily doing the kind of cyberware, digitizing minds, transferring consciousnesses. The revolution, like we talked about, the kind of like city and kind of corporate or group level actions that can happen in the setting, a VR network that every player engages with instead of just hackers. And it looks like the system. It reminds me of the thing that's not D100 that Cubicle 7 is producing. They have dice like that as well that have some effects dice that you're adding in. So yeah, advantage and challenge. Up to 4 of each of these dice can be rolled, with your single D100 roll. So Go ahead.
I was just saying, I'm looking over the Kickstarter page right now, and it looks pretty good. I'm actually intrigued. The look of it is maybe a lot cleaner and less what do you call that, dystopia centered than your most cyberpunk stuff is. But yeah, it looks pretty cool.
Yeah, and another neat thing they're doing is a digital creator pack. So they're doing art assets, icons, page templates, and other elements so that you can use those for your sessions, your VTTs, everything to and also for your homebrew. If you want to homebrew anything for Neon City Outlaws, you've got a lot of art assets to do that with. There is a print and play preview available now. I'll put that link in the description on drive-through. And they're going to do form fillable PDFs, all kinds of extra stuff, character sheets, custom character sheets, and so they're getting close to their. What's the current? Have they hit the goal? Their 40,000 goal?
No, I'm surprised. They have 13 days to go.
Okay.
And they're only $6,000 behind. So
if this sounds,
the digital bundle is only $35 and it's a digital of everything.
Wow,
yeah,
that's cool. Yeah. So take a look at that if that sounds interesting. It's a guy that's got some experience and this is his third setting, his third game from his publisher. So a little publisher. Give Rodney Thompson some love and check out Neon City Outlaws on Kickstarter.
Cool.
All right. So that's going to do it for this week. So where can people find you, Matt?
I'm on, a little bit on Instagram, mostly on Blue Sky. It's at Hargold, HAARGALD, where I've been posting some pictures of my board game nights because my local group isn't really running any RPGs right now. I take that back. There is a 5e game, but Matt just tapped out and said, "Let me know when we're going to play some more board games." But talk about that and some other stuff. And how about you?
So I just did my May, just in the nick of time, did the May live stream for my Abuse Cartoons live stream. So I draw my single panel gag cartoon, Domestic Abuse, on stream and ate a lot of chocolate mint snacks because it's back. Chocolate mint is back, baby. So in Japan, for some reason, it's a seasonal thing. I don't know. But so that was fun. If you want to read this cartoon, which I've been doing for 20 some odd years, you can go to gocomics.com/domestic abuse. And if you like what we're doing here on the weekly, consider becoming a weekling. You can do that at patreon.com/upturntable. Let us know what you'd like to see on the weekly. And just help support the channel and have us be playing silly things like Daggerheart, which would not be possible without your support. So I don't know if it's a blessing or a curse, but it's happening. And so Upturn Table on all social media, upturntable.com is the main website. And we go live on Twitch, YouTube, Facebook, Bump, sometimes Kick, all kinds of Shove, Push, I don't know, all of these crazy platforms the kids are on. But you can subscribe. You can subscribe to the channel on YouTube or Twitch to be notified of when we go live and to watch our actual plays. We will be playing Daggerheart 24 hours from now, or at least a session 0, and give that a shot. We just will be finishing up our Outgunned, our second flick in Outgunned next week as well. So yeah, subscribe to the channel to find out when we do that, and to catch up on the playlist from the previous sessions. And yeah, thank you so much for all your support and for watching, and we'll be back again next week. Goodbye. Bye. All right, and we're back. So Matt was going to tell a story. What's up, Matt?
It's not that it's dumb. It's not game. It's not game related at all. So do you know what a Meyer lemon is?
No.
So Meyer lemons are a particular type of lemon that they're pretty hard to get, and I think they have a really short growing season. But they produce a really mild lemon that's kind of sweet.
Oh,
so people like to make like a Meyer lemon meringue pie instead of a regular lemon meringue pie, or they use it in a lot of sauces and whatever. Well, this year when that time came around, my wife has a coworker who has a Meyer lemon tree, which is kind of a big deal, and so we got a bunch of Meyer lemons, and I just put them in the fridge, and like I was trying to use them, but you can only use so many lemons.
Yeah. Right.
So ultimately what I ended up was just juicing all the ones I had left before they went bad.
Yeah.
And I froze some of it, and some of it I put in jars and kept it in the fridge. And it's been a while now, and I just added some to this soda I've been drinking. Because I like a lemon Coke.
Oh, yeah.
And I think it's fermenting.
Oh, no.
Like, it's kind of burns when I drink it.
Oh, no.
But like, oh my God, am I making some kind of lemon booze in my fridge?
Right. Oh, that's funny.
'Cause I didn't like, make any effort to properly can it, so it would be hermetically sealed or
Right,
whatever,
right.
and sterilized. I just put it in a jar, screwed on the top, and threw it in the fridge. And I think I got like low grade lemon vodka growing in there.
Nice. That's a whole new brand, Meyer Lemon Vodka.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, they've got a ton of different varieties of citrus in Japan, and there's so many names for things. It's like they use was it sudachi? These little tiny, they look like limes, the color of lime, but they're like this just the size of a Brussels sprout, or they're pretty small, and but the flesh is orange inside, so it's a green skin with white rind, and then very kind of orangey skin. But it's a really nice subtle citrus flavor on a lot of fish, on like a lot of grilled fish and stuff. So they use that a lot. But yeah, then they also have yuzu and a lot of kind of more mild citrus here. But they're like, when you taste them, it's like, well, this is somewhere between a grapefruit and an orange. This is somewhere between a lemon and an orange. It's like an interesting range of flavors.
There seems to be a lot of fruit in Asia that we just don't really get here. Like, I think like the ones you can get, like dragon fruit is originally Asian, right?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, so we get that, and we get that. There's some like Asian markets who sell that. What's that one that's like super smelly?
Oh yeah.
Oh, the durian.
Durian. That's right. Yeah.
Yeah, there are some markets that sell that.
Why? So
but
funny.
like,
Yeah. It's
I
just
mean,
for
your
YouTube.
average American's not going to be brave enough to go buy one of those and try it.
And open it in their house. Yeah, cut it open in their house. Whoa! Now we got to sell the house. Yeah, that's funny. Yeah, I wonder, and I think a lot of probably the crops are so small, especially the Japanese stuff that's produced, that they just, there's not even room to import. They already have everything sold every season. Yeah, but it's nice. It's a really nice, and they even do like different treatments, even on like fried chicken and stuff. They try. There's like different combinations you squeeze on fried foods like tempura and stuff. You squeeze some lemon. So yeah, there's some interesting variations as well. I never know the name of anything. There's always like some these random citrus fruits. Oh, what is this? And there's no translation, so there's no like and so people say, what do you call this in English? There's no such thing. Yeah.
You tell me.
Yeah, right. Yeah, does not exist. All right. Yeah, so heads up for everybody that's interested in the Dagger Heart that's on the Discord. So let me know just in that Dragon Dagger Heart, I keep on saying Dagger Heart channel. Let me know either your username or password for Demiplane, and then I can share all that character creation stuff with you, and then we can just import that directly into Roll20. So it's pretty straightforward. Yeah, and that was the thing I was telling Matt before the stream. Demiplane does everything except the counters on the maps. So they have video chat, they have voice chat, they have text chat. You can roll your dice, you can create your characters. So it's a very strange thing that Roll20 is, bought them or using them or collaborating with them, so that there's so much overlap in features. So it might be confusing for some groups to, if you found your group on Roll20, you found your group on Demiplane, to then get them over to the other platform. So which features are we using on which platform? Because there's a ton of redundancy. It's an odd situation right now. So I have no idea, but we're going to give it a shot. And as it stands right now, Daggerheart, the compendium, and so all the rules and everything are not available on Roll20. You have to go into Demiplane, which is a bit odd. So there's just a big Demiplane button in Roll20. If you want to look at the rules, there's nothing in there. You click and you jump to another website. So yeah, I don't know if they're going to fix that integration. They won't. They've not done anything for more than 12 years. No, more than that, like more than 13 years now with Roll20. So they're not going to fix that. It's just going to be weird and clumsy. But but I was surprised. That's a very, the features of the Demiplane Nexus websites are pretty deep. So that means for Alien and all the stuff that they support, there is a whole suite of stuff. And so we could basically do character creation without ever going to Roll20. We can just stay in Demiplane because there's a lot of visuals and we can chat and, message each other and voice and video. So I don't know. And we're kind of having that problem with Alchemy, right? Because we use Discord primarily for our voice chat. But we'd like to be able to, for people to hear us on Alchemy and, watch, watch the games, be, what do they call it? Not participants, but spectators. Yeah.
Observers, spectators.
Yeah, spectators. Yeah, so to be able to have the game public for people to watch. But yeah, there doesn't seem to be a way to share that audio very easily.
Yeah, and then we discovered the whole weird thing that when you do have it set to share, it creates a chat, much like what we have right now.
Right.
And there's no way to monitor it, like to control who's saying what, which is really weird. Like,
yeah. So no moderation on it. That's weird. Yeah, just like in your game session, just to have a chat. I guess it's people that are registered on Alchemy, but it's not hard to register on Alchemy. Some people could.
I made a dummy account just so I could see things from the player's point of view for a while.
Right. Yes. So how's everybody doing? Yeah, so hopefully we can get stuff, and it'll be just we can just have a nice, casual kind of talk about what would be a fun setting. And there is a quick start adventure that we can probably just put into any of the settings that we're doing. It seems pretty straightforward if we just want to get right into playing in the next session.
That'd be good.
Yeah. And we can flesh stuff out and see where it goes from there. Like kind of see how the players are dealing with the characters and what would be fun to bring up. Yeah, so it'll be interesting to see how this. So that when we did the flip through with Will, we showed they have this like really intense, like this is what you do in a session 0, 20 minutes this, 10 minutes this, 1 hour this. Like they break it down into everything you need to do, and a lot of it is just it's all lines and veils and player agreement and consent and all this stuff. So I think we'll need a lot less of that. But this will be the first time to play with a kind of a random group. I've done it a little bit on Discord and stuff, and it's not gone well. So, but this will be a first time to play with people that have never played before, and we'll just try to see how the synergy goes with such a careful system. It's very funny, yeah.
And if it all falls apart, we can go back to what we've been doing on Discord recently, which is showing pictures of our cat.
Right. Yeah, we can just switch over. Okay, cat stream.
Yeah.
Degahertz over. Cat stream begins now.
So if you want to talk games or share pictures of the cat, become a member or a patron and you can join our Discord.
Yes. Get in on that Discord. All those cat photos. Yes.
I did post a bunch of board game pictures there from my Tuesday night board games.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Oh, Paul was saying the Dusk City Outlaws is a decent game, the fantasy heist game. So simple D100 system, and they use timers. Yeah, heist games. So you don't get bogged down with over planning. Yeah, so there's timers on sourcing everything, hitting up all your contacts. That's cool.
I like something. I think our Dune game.
Mm-hmm.
I really enjoyed once we got into the rhythm of it. I really enjoyed the whole zooming out and doing the big story political stuff, and then coming back down to our characters and enjoying the shenanigans that they got up to. So if they're kind of doing a little bit of that in that really piques my interest. That's another reason why I want to get into Swords of the Serpentine, because it's got a little bit of that going on, So that's a neat thing, especially if it's a game you're going to come back to and play again,
Yeah. That's true, and it looks like just from looking at some of the pages and things in the rulebook, it looks like they spell stuff out and like how it's not just completely narrative and storytelling. They give you some structure for how would you take down a corporation, or what would be the things that would what would be the events and things that could happen. So and like he was saying, I think experience from the previous systems is to give you like a range of things and to give you something that's plausible, so you're not just improvising every detail of the city. It kind of keeps the scale making sense. But that would be really fun to decide that, we have infiltrated this corp, or we're going after the CEO, and make that actually happen in the game, on that larger scale. Fun stuff. Oh, Vero made it into the chat. Yep. Nice. I'm just catching up now. Nice. Oh, is Will on Demiplane Nexus? Did he?
Yeah, he's
also.
Okay. He said he signed up when you guys did your flip through.
Oh, that's right. He must have. Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Yeah, he sent. I think he's good to go, and I got your invite you sent today and accepted it, so I'm good to go.
Nice.
It'll just be Abyss and Arturo.
Oh, nice. Nice. Yeah. So we'll get everything before we go live. We'll get everything set up and make sure it's working for everybody. So we may have to based on whose system is using what. So that's the other thing too. The bigger the group gets, is like the more random technical problems and stuff we can have. That was early days, like pre-pandemic Roll20. Oh my god, just getting microphones to work on Roll20 was a nightmare. We always switched over to like some Google platform or something. Somebody had a business license for some stupid either the Microsoft or the Google platform for voice chat, and we always switched over to it because Roll20 would not work with everybody's system. Somebody would not be able to get their microphone working. So yeah, hopefully we won't have too much of that, because you know how well I handle technical difficulties.
Well, we're gonna do it through Discord though, right?
Definitely. Yeah.
We're all Discord users, so hopefully we're kind of skipping that hurdle.
No, that's true. Yeah, it'll just be making sure. Yeah, both Demiplane and Roll20. I don't even think we'll have to open Roll20. We can do everything in Demiplane, because we're not going to be. There's a dice roller in there. Yeah, so we're not going to have to do anything. Maybe generate some character art.
If you wanted to play like a completely theater of the mind online game, you could just use Demiplane. Which
yeah, that was very true. And you could just do for the stream, you could just do some visuals. Just have some JPEGs, open in browser windows or whatever, or some kind of picture viewer, and just switch between just evocative images that would give at least a visual element to the stream. True. But yeah,
you could just put stuff on Discord.
Yeah.
We don't need you, Roll20.
Yeah, Roll20. I know it's well, maybe it's good that they if too many people figured that out, it's good that they have something like Nexus, so that people won't completely abandon them. Oh, the Cosmere RPG is on Nexus. It has a play test right now. Got to get Will to run that for us.
Yeah. I think what's the because the first version of it is the second book series, right?
Oh yeah.
I haven't read the book, so I'm blanking on what the series are called. But I know that he likes the first series a lot more, which is the one that I think they eat metal to cast magic or something. I don't know. He's told me about it before, but I'm blanking on it.
Yeah, so we'll have to see. We'll see what we.
Someone in the chat can explain the difference between those two series if they want.
Right. Nice. Yeah. This should be fun. Animal adventures. Yeah, we're basically going to recreate Root in Daggerheart, right? Just a bunch of anthropomorphic animals in a fantasy world.
Yeah, by the way, when we were talking about Root in the free RPG day thing,
Mhm.
it don't let Kyle Farron's art fool you. If you play like the Root board game, it's pretty brutal.
Oh, yeah.
It's dealing with like a lot of concepts of like fascism and stuff like that.
Oh,
And
interesting. Yeah,
it
yeah.
the art is deceptive.
Interesting. Yeah, I think a lot of those, like Mouse Ritter and a lot of those, games where you're playing little critters, your assumption is it's going to be cozy or cutesy, but yeah, I mean, it's like Animal Farm. Like the very early on, animals were used as a lot of political satire and a lot of there's a lot in there when you're playing little animals.
There is a history.
Yeah, yeah.
I have some somewhere. I have stored some art that artist that does all the leader games stuff, Kyle Farron. Because Will and I were trying to make a card game. This was years and years ago, and I actually reached out to him, and this is before he had gotten huge. And it was like, hey, you want to do some art for me? And he was like, yeah. And we worked out a deal for it or whatever. And he sent me like a first round of test images, and they were cool. And then like he just kept missing deadline after deadline. And it was because he blew up with all this leader game stuff.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
And it was like, yeah, you don't got time for that bullshit anymore. small potatoes. And
Yeah.
all right, I guess we're not working together anymore. Fine.
That sucks. Yeah. That happened when I was running the gallery in Japan. That happened. So I don't know if I've talked about this in the stream, but I was kind of doing a reverse Giant Robot. So Giant Robot in LA introduces Asian artists to the US, some illustrators and artists that you wouldn't have access to the English speaking or US market. So they sold a lot of prints and things by these artists. So I was kind of doing the reverse. I was trying to bring Western artists, European and American artists to Japan that they would never see, that haven't worked with Japanese companies or whatever. But the same thing would happen. They would get too famous too fast and be doing like New Yorker covers and then stop answering my email. Like, okay. okay, I get it. Yeah.
It's rough.
Yeah, but that timing thing is really funny. So, but it did reinforce the fact that I could pick good artists. It's just that, they got other people found them as well, and they blew up, which is good. You want their careers to do well, but you don't want to get left behind.
Yeah. Used to when I used to do some theater stuff, you would. There was this funny thing. I wasn't an actor. I wrote and I did a little bit of directing, but the actors, because I didn't come up in the theater world. I came to it through my writing, and so I hadn't spent a lot of time with actors. And
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Like one of them would get a job in LA, right? And everybody would be like, oh, that's great. And as soon as they walked out of the room, it was just this vicious, like just dripping with jealousy, passive aggressive bullshit, And it's just like, okay, all right. Everything they say about actors is true.
Yeah, that has to be rough. Yeah, and I didn't think I kind of ran into that with the gallery stuff too, like kind of babysitting the creatives, like having to over explain and it's okay, and like there's a lot of like ups and downs, like manic depressive kind of stuff you're dealing with and stuff. Like sometimes they're really on it and they're really and then and other times you have to just kind of help them along, give them encouragement. And that was I didn't think I'd have to do that because I do that, and I don't think I'm that temperamental, but it's a thing. Yeah, it's funny. Well, yeah, that's a good, let me see if I can get my hands on that Dragonbane tournament thing and take a look at that and see if I can pull the art out and set up the set that up because that runs well on Alchemy, right? We can.
Do you have like in Osaka? Do you have like a dedicated game stores you can go to?
There is, as far as there's some board game cafes, but as far as like game stores selling stuff, Yellow Submarine I think is the only place in Osaka. They are mostly cards. Like they have separate. It's one store, but they've got like separate buildings. And the one that's Magic cards and RPGs has a lot of RPGs, and then a floor where you can play card games or RPGs on the rent tables. But nothing, nothing very dedicated.
Getting the physical copies over there would probably be impossible.
Yeah, I was reading. Yeah, they said they won't send the kits directly. They're going to send kits to foreign distributors that can then disperse them. So if you're using an international distributor, you can get it from them. So they didn't name any names, but they said, yeah, whoever you get RPGs from, that's where you can get the free RPG Day kits. You can't get them directly from us on the website. So they're sending some stuff out. So I can do a little research and figure out who that is and where they might end up. But usually they moved away because it used to be a lot of stuff wasn't translated into Japanese. So they had to do like fan translations and people used a lot of English books. But now that more and more stuff is being localized in Japanese, there's less English. People don't import English stuff and don't have it. A lot of board games used to be in English only, but now Hobby Japan and a couple of other publishers have done a lot of localization stuff. So now everything is Japanese.
Hey, you have all of your Outgun Adventure Kickstarter now, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Do you still want to do the live thing?
Oh, sure. Or what are you thinking?
I was thinking maybe we should just flip it because I think you have a better camera setup than I do anyway.
Okay.
Like maybe we could just flip it and you have the stuff on camera,
sure.
but I could be there to talk with you about it.
Right. And you can be like physically looking at the same thing. So be commenting on the quality and stuff without having to, be in the same room. Yeah. Yeah, that's good. Yeah. Chris and I were talking about that because Chris backed Outgunned Adventure 2, and I guess we're missing the coasters. I don't think though. So for however they had to break it up, when you look at the list of stuff, all of the stretch goal, little tiny items and stuff. I think the only thing we didn't get are coasters. I'll double check what I have, but there was something that didn't make it into this this kind of broken up version, and it just may be because I couldn't get the item to the distributors in Asia.
Well, we can compare and contrast.
Yeah, like, that'd be good too. Yeah.
If I do end up having something you don't have, I can just put it on my camera or whatever.
Mm-hmm. That'd be good. Yeah, no, we should do that. That would be fun, and especially because it's fun. That was fun with Will to go through Daggerheart that way. So I think unboxings with multiple opinions and voices and stuff would be nice because we'll all have different experiences of stuff.
Yeah, we can get Will on there too.
Yeah, that's right because he played. He played the quick start with us and every Outgun game, so that'd be good.
Yeah, and that's the other thing is we'll kind of be looking at it through the lens of having played both a little bit. I mean, we just did the quick start, but because right now in my mind, I think I would prefer the full Outgun system.
Interesting. Yeah.
To the lighter one, but I want to look at all their rules or their advice for like traps and puzzles and stuff in Outgun Adventure because they don't really deal with that in the Outgun core book, which is one gap in those rules for me is because there's such an emphasis on it being like guns a-blazing, high-powered action kind of stuff. They don't really stop and say, here's what happens if you throw a guy out of a skyscraper, or here's the evil villain's sinister trap they've set, or there's they don't cover that kind of stuff because that's not their focus. But then Outgun Adventure will have stuff about traps and puzzles and things.
Right.
So it'd be fun to kind of look at that and think about how I could use that in Outgun. You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, and it seems like they were talking on the stream about the little mechanics that get added with each of the flicks. Like when they were trying to do the Western flick, like it was like a cowboy movie, a Western movie, they had to come up with a quick draw mechanic. Like they had to add like a dueling quick draw mechanic, or else it just doesn't feel enough like a Western. So so each of those. So there may be some other little things to pull out of some of the flicks. Yeah, I haven't.
Yeah, the flicks are great for that stuff. Like if I ever wanted to put like a weird supernatural spin on our Indie Heat game, I could just grab stuff out of the flicks, and that'd be kind of fun.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, they did a.
Not that I'm planning to do that.
Oh, wait a minute! I have to watch those polls. What tropes? What 80s tropes are making it into the next campaign?
Well, the one I didn't use, I went with the top two, and I used the ninjas, obviously.
Yes.
But the other one was Satanic Panic. So I have an idea. I think, a really fun idea how I'm going to do that in the next one.
Nice.
I just couldn't wedge it into this one. It just didn't feel right. So, but a ninja, I could sprinkle a ninja in anywhere.
Yeah, ninjas just kind of show up. Unless you spray for them, they usually get there. Yeah. They work their way into the building. And
you got to put that little zapper out on the porch.
Right. I thought for sure, I blew through all my adrenaline. I thought for sure I could hold her off, but
you almost did.
Yeah.
It was literally because she is literally the second most powerful adversary in the whole adventure.
Wow. Oh no, I'm worried who's the first. I think I know who the first is. I think the first likes Facts of Life.
That could be interesting. We'll see when that part comes into play. It'll be interesting to see what you guys do.
Yes.
I've been impressed. Like there have been times where you guys have kind of gone rogue a little bit, but you've never become like full on murderous cops or anything.
Yeah, we keep trying to, like, one of us will be like, okay, that's it, and then we kind of talk each other down. Yeah, that's been interesting.
Oh, 1 minute, I gotta boot somebody. Hey, I haven't had to do this in a long time.
Oh, hey.
Oh, how do you boot them after you hide their message?
Oh, is it
not letting me? It's not letting me. Can you do it, Jeremy?
Oh, sure. Is it through Twitch or?
No, YouTube.
Oh, it is on YouTube. Oh, okay.
Twitch. It's someone named Cursed Egg. I just hid their message.
Oh, okay. I'll find out what's going on here. Yeah, so this has been fun, and I think it's. I mean, if we can alternate game master duties, I think 2 sessions a week is pretty fun. That's a lot of gaming.
Yeah, I don't know if I can commit to that constantly.
Yeah.
Because life tends to intervene during the week.
Yeah, that's true.
But some of the time, for sure. Some of the time, for sure.
And especially for weird systems and one shots and stuff we want to try, that might be a fun alternate day. And it was good that there was an alternative because Terry gets busy socially and birthdays and stuff. So it was good that that was an option. I was worried we'd have to take a big break.
Terry is 3 years older than me and lives his life like I did 30 years ago.
Right. Yes. Yeah, very, very envious. Sounds like a lot of fun. Yeah, every time coming back for a session, it's like I've had a few cocktails.
Yeah, every time.
I wish I had a few cocktails.
Yeah. I'm sitting here making my own fermented lemon booze, and he's out there having cocktails. Yeah.
Nice.
And then we got Arturo, the actual professional bartender who talks about drinks he's made and stuff.
Nice.
On the Discord, so become a member or patron.
Cats and drink recipes and actual and role play sessions. All kinds of good stuff. Nice. Well, good. Yeah, I can't find the user in the thing. Maybe it hid it from
It
me as
says
well.
Abyss hid them.
Oh, okay. Okay, good. Thanks,
Good job.
Abyss. We got dueling wrenches. We're over moderated. That can't be a bad thing. Nice. Well, good. Yeah. So let's do some Daggerheart.
Yeah, looking forward to our Zootopia game tomorrow.
Right,
It'll be cool.
right. Yeah, I'm curious, like, what people's ideas for world building are gonna be. We're gonna have some oppressive animal ancestry. Yeah, it's funny, and it is so funny. They have so many ancestries, and it means so little. What you choose means so little. It's like, like what Will was saying, just the clothes you're wearing. It's like, yeah,
Yeah, it'll just be us role playing it. Like I can already tell Arturo's gonna lean into that cowman thing.
right. Yes.
So that'll be awesome.
Good stuff. Yeah, so I want to and I want to read through the campaign frames and stuff too to get a sense of how each of them are different. So kind of the questions we want to answer for the world building, and yeah, then we can flesh that out. And if they're doing third-party content with a license, we'll release our own weird, wacky Zootopia campaign frame for you to wreck the game with weird animals.
We can make a world book and call it Haggardart.
Yes, Haggardart, the full world. And then once it gets really popular, then Critical Role will be forced to play it because it'll be the top selling. That'll be the top selling third party supplement. That would be very, very bizarre. All right. Well, good. Good times. Yeah. So I'll look for that Dragon Band. I think that would be a good way to get us back into free league territory.
Yeah. Did you see the poll I put on the Discord?
Oh no! What?
I sent all of you guys on our messenger group a picture of the final results.
Oh yeah. Okay. I saw that.
But I just from memory made a poll of a lot of the games we've been talking about.
Mm-hmm.
So I know I missed things. But then I put it up for people to vote, said vote for the 3 you're most interested in.
And what was the win in there? Where's my...
I'm blanking right now. Let me go back and look at it. I'm pretty sure Alien and Mothership are high on the list.
Oh, okay. That's right. We do have another full Alien...
Scroll through all these cat pictures. Give me just a second.
Oh yeah. Mothership, Alien, and Vaesen. Yeah, look like they're the top.
Yeah. Those are the big winners.
Cool.
With votes with a vote for Fallout.
Nothing.
Clarion.
Yeah. What was that?
In Clarion's defense, we forgot to vote, so
okay.
It's not a whole sample size here.
All right. No votes for Mutant Chronicles. That was going to be what I was going to pull on you guys next. Yeah, I don't think there's any VTT support for that game because it's like a 2015 game. So we'll have to build some stuff, but we got to try some 2D20 Mutant Chronicles.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. The way you explained that one, it sounded like fun. I would love to try that.
Cool. Yeah. I think that there's a ton of content, so there's a lot of fun. We can pull the fun stuff out of there.
You said there was kind of like a noir detective thing on the moon or something?
Yeah, that's the first kind of adventure because that's maybe chronologically, that's the earliest part of the setting. And, basically they're covering up the fact that bad shit's happening and you start to have to investigate stuff that's just like, this is not even possible. What the hell's going on? And kind of like, all hell breaks loose during just what you think is a routine investigation. So yeah, it's nice. It kind of brings you into the setting in a nice way, and then things are like full demon invasion, pretty quickly. But I think that was a nice choice. So I think that's what the indie game, the guy that did Cthulhu, the Swedish designer, that Luna City Blues, I think is going to be that. It's going to be a more rules light investigation in that time setting where everything's a little bit strange, but you haven't seen, so it'll feel a little like sci-fi Cthulhu almost, I think, because there is definitely a world, disrupting thing happening, and you're just getting little bits and pieces of it, and it's basically like technology is becoming unusable. So that's going to be cool. And I think they have a Facebook group and they keep posting updates on it. So I think that's on its way. We should get an interview with Mikhail before that comes out.
We need to talk about the Rebellion Unplugged thing.
Oh,
because you sent me that little snippet of
yeah,
that blog post.
That was so depressing. Yeah.
So is that the lead designer?
I think so. Well, I think there's two, the two British kind of indie designers, both with cred, both with Tunnels and Trolls cred. But yeah, the latest, I can't find the, but Chris Bissett, just recently sent out, I'm on his mail list from Loot the Room, I think. And yeah, he made a reference to I'm working on a dragon game. I'm working on content for a dragon game. He does do stuff for Pathfinder, so he may be referring to that. But yeah, it sounded a little bit frustrating.
It's not being prioritized.
Yes. So the title of the blog post on Loot the Room was Wheneverly. So a few days ago, I heard the word Wheneverly for the first time and immediately made it a core part of my personality. So much of what I've done over the past few years has been on a schedule, quote unquote schedule, that can only be described as Wheneverly. Adventure Tourism, the podcast with 3 very good episodes that I haven't managed to edit and release since recording them 18 months ago. Wheneverly, adventures for a dungeon game, ? Wheneverly, this newsletter, and so a lot of stuff. Oh, that's dungeon game, not a dragon game. Yeah. So I think that's the dungeon game that needs an adventure. And when he announced that, or when they were kind of talking him up on the Rebellion Unplugged website, they were also saying he's got an art exhibit coming up. He's like doing all of this stuff. Like he's a very busy creator, but doesn't have time to get anything completed. So wheneverly we will see Tunnels and Trolls.
They literally, if we just generally regard 2025 as the 50th anniversary, they are halfway gone now, and it's such a waste.
Yeah.
Like, there could have been this cool thing. We could have said, see Wizard of the Coast, this is how you do it. And instead, they're just not going to do anything.
Yeah. Yeah, and I saw the Arnicon, the, kind of competing with GaryCon. The competing convention with GaryCon in October is going to have Ken St. Andre as a guest. So yeah, that would be a great time for there to be books to sign or something. Yeah, but nope. We'll see. Yeah, that's October. So, but yeah, lots of stuff. Yeah, I like his work, but yeah, it's I think it over committed, working on a lot of different projects. Yeah, so we'll see. But he will be at the UK Game Expo. Oh, that happened this week at the Stockholm Cartel booth in Hall 3. That just happened.
Oh, brother. Yeah, Trevor Duvall is doing a seminar at Gen Con on the Broken Empires.
That's cool.
But they're not going to record or stream it, apparently.
Oh.
And I'm just like, God damn it.
Yeah.
What a wasted opportunity.
Wow. Well, let's just get a really nice 4K camera and sit in the audience, like in a really nice seat. Yeah. Like those Marvel panels and stuff. Except
it's almost June now, which means you would need to live in a tent if you wanted to go to Gen Con.
Anywhere near Indiana. Yeah, I'd have to be airdropped into Indianapolis to get near there.
When we went, I waited a couple weeks later than what everyone else was doing to get their hotels. and we ended up being like a $30 Uber drive away.
Oh wow, yeah.
It was brutal.
Yeah, I lucked out one year for Comic-Con. I stayed at this kind of trashy no-tell motel for like nothing. It was like $50 a night or something. It was something really, really cheap. And it was just a few minutes. It was just outside of San Diego. And so you just had to jump on the highway and get off on the very next exit. It was called the Lucky Seven. Lucky Seven Motel, but it was so perfect, and because everything is so crowded and sold out downtown. But that was the best, because usually I would stupidly just drive it. I lived in LA, and I would just drive LA to San Diego on some of the days that I would go down. So it's like 3 hour drive. But if you drive fast enough, it's less than 3 hours between Los Angeles and San Diego. But yeah, that's cool. That's cool that they're doing that. It's too bad that they're not going to record it.
Mm-hmm.
But they just might. Maybe the facilities and stuff that there's certain they're not set up for it, and they also don't want to deal with it just in case there's releases that need signed or whatever to actually use the content. I don't know. But yeah, so whenever Lee is when we're getting Tunnels and Trolls.
Weak. Well, maybe we'll have to bring back those characters and play another adventure later down the year.
Oh yeah,
later in the year, we'll have our own 50th celebration.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, that would be very fun. Yeah, and we should because there's a couple of fun. I think in Playing at the World and a couple of the history books of roleplay, there's some fun coverage of Tunnels and Trolls. So we should just kind of go over that kind of stuff, the stories, the kind of origin story and stuff. Yeah, that'd be fun.
And are you still thinking about doing some playthroughs of the solo stuff?
Yeah, I really want to. Yeah, I figured a good way to do that. I keep forgetting because I don't have to. If it's solo, I don't have to have a server. I should get stuff set up on Foundry, because Foundry works really well for solo stuff, and I should just get that set up because I think all of that is already on there. Like someone has built. Yeah.
If you want something visual, like to show, like I don't know, a combat or something, Tunnels and Trolls is such a simplistic, abstract system. You don't really need anything other than a forest scene, a cave scene,
right.
A dungeon scene,
No, that's true. Yeah, it would be easy to come up with visuals. Yeah, and I really, because there's some really brutal, the solo adventures, there's some really rough ones. So it'd be fun. It'd be fun to play those on stream and to come up with so what do you think a good system would be? Like if you die really quick, so do a new character or do like the same character, like again, like another instance of a character, like do it more video game where you just like, second attempt, or like actually re-roll a character for every death?
I guess it depends on, like, if you want to turn it into sort of a learning video for people, then re-rolling a character could be good.
No, that's true.
But if you don't want to mess with that, then maybe you just construct kind of a I don't know, a weird artificial story of like, this asshole wizard sent you into this dungeon,
right?
And every time you die, he just makes you go back in.
Right. Yeah.
It sounds like some of those dumb books that everyone loves right now that I hate so much.
Oh, the
like
DCC
Dungeon Crawl, Carl, or whatever. Right. And all the little spin-offs. Will cracks me up because he loves these things, but he will also tell you that they're pretty much garbage literature.
Right.
So I was like, okay, I guess if that's what you want to spend your time on.
That's funny. Yeah, my cousin was raving about those books. I'm like, okay, I don't know.
One of the guys in our group, straight-faced, said he likes them more than Lord of the Rings. Oh. And I was like, I don't know if I want to be in the same room with you anymore.
Wow. Yeah,
I
that's
mean,
funny.
you can enjoy whatever you
Yeah,
enjoy, but yeah, come on.
that's funny. Yeah, because it kind of sounds like the tone is kind of like Zombieland and Ready Player One, kind of in like the like that's how I'm imagining. If isn't Netflix
Yeah.
or Amazon going to do it? That's how I'm imagining the weird tone of it is going to be.
Yes, I
Yeah,
think somebody picked it up. It'll
yeah,
be Amazon, and they'll fuck it up.
yeah. Right. Yeah, that'd be crazy if that becomes like a huge property to the next like Walking Dead or whatever, and we're gonna have decades and spin-off series of Dungeon Crawl Carl, and then it's going to be another influence, like because that'll be the way people come to tabletop. It'll be another influence on how people, all the expectations and everything that they come into the hobby with. We'll have to deal with that again, as opposed to the 5e, critical role stuff. Now we'll have this like series
Hmm.
that's kind of doing dungeon crawling. Like, can my girlfriend's cat come? Can we roll my girlfriend's cat up as a character?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think I told you this story, but we made a long time ago. We were gonna play that Fantasy Flight RPG. That was It was like a series of apocalypse books.
Hmm.
So like there was one for a zombie apocalypse,
Oh.
one for
Hmm.
aliens, whatever.
Right.
Can't remember what it was called. It was something apocalypse. Anyway,
Hmm.
uh, so we got together. We're gonna make characters, and the whole conceit of that is that you're playing yourselves,
Hmm.
right? And there's an apocalypse happens, and then we started thinking about it, and people are like, I don't really want to play this thing where like literally zombies just ate my mom and
Yeah. Yeah.
my wife and everything. Like that's weird. And I was like, yeah, yeah, that is kind of weird.
Yeah. Yeah. It's the end of the world. Yeah. Yeah. End of the end of the world series by
Yeah.
Fantasy Flight. Yeah. 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 That's true. Yeah. I think Beer and Board Games, I think, played that game. They played like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and other strangeness. They played some really random RPGs on that show. But I think that's one of the games they played because they were imagining like fortifying the apartment that they were in. Like the zombie apocalypse happened on their game night. So as they're playing this, it's their game night and they're imagining how they're protecting themselves in the apartment that they're actually filming in. Yes. Poor Fantasy Flight. I used to be somebody I'd pay attention to until they really started to screw up a lot of their systems. I mean, they had Netrunner was such a great thing. I can't believe
Yeah.
they lost
It's
it.
just once Fantasy Fight just went all in on monetizing everything and like proprietary dice and
Hmm.
three kinds of card sizes so we can sell you three kinds of
Yeah.
card sleeves. And it's just like, okay, I
Mm.
like some of what you do, but this is getting a little ridiculous.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. They really did snowball. And then they lost a couple of their big licenses, and yeah, they lost Warhammer. And I heard the gossip or the rumor of that was once they did their Game of Thrones miniature, you know, war game, Games Workshop was like, well, now you're competing against us with a fantasy setting and word game miniatures. No, you're not going to have our license to do RPGs and card games and stuff. Then I heard
Yeah,
that was the reason.
I think Games Workshop was already pissed at them because they tried to launch a big rank and flank game for their
Oh,
terribly boring
yes,
generic fantasy world that they
that's
made.
right. Rune Wars or something. Yeah, what was
Rune
that?
Lords, Rune War. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's like in the Rune Lords
uh,
universe or
yeah.
whatever. Yeah,
That's right. That's right.
and then like they got the Game of Thrones thing, and it was I think GW is like fuck you.
Yeah, that okay. That's right. That makes sense. I remember. Yeah, I remember them doing that. And yeah, I guess they wanted to be promoting an IP that they owned and stuff. But yeah, that's nuts.
If I was running GW, I would have tapped out on them when they made Warhammer Third Edition.
Yeah, you're right.
That was just a travesty.
Yeah, that was really, really a lot of little junk for everything.
Oh man, it was terrible. Pre-printed cards for your characters and stuff. It's like, I don't know. That is not my thing at all.
Maybe there was some fans of that game were working on Daggerheart there with cards for all of your abilities and stuff. Take the card for your community. Now take the card for your ancestry.
Oh, but no, they had actual like I call them cards, but they were like little mini boards that were your character sheets.
Oh, right, like a dashboard kind of thing. Yeah, right, right.
Yeah. It's like no.
That's right.
If I'm gonna have this stupid flimsy piece of cardstock and have to worry about knocking a bead off of something, or like,
yeah, right.
No, stupid.
That's right. Oh man. All right. Well, good.
Oh, there's a really cool Discord on our Discord. Again, if you're become a member of Patreon, you can join our Discord. I shared a video from this British board game reviewer guy who did a top 10 GW games from the 80s that are not Warhammer.
Oh, nice.
And it's a really fun trip down memory lane for some of us old people. And the guy is freaking hilarious because he has like this thick kind of lower class British accent, and he's cussing, and it's a fun video, but it's also neat to look at the old games that I had played about half of the ones he went through.
Oh, cool!
So it's pretty cool.
Nice. Yeah, I'll have to take a look at that. Oh yeah, I forgot we did, and if you missed yesterday's Outgun session, we said the titular line. I can't believe that actually happened.
Yeah,
we're looking pretty outgunned here. Like,
yeah.
oh.
I feel like balloons should come down and alarms going off or something.
Yeah, we should have had something prepared for that moment. That was funny.
You said the secret word.
Oh man. All right. So yeah, thanks everybody for hanging out with us, and we will we'll be back very soon with some Daggerheart characters.
Yeah, so Biss, freaking email Jeremy if you don't want to share your username.
Oh yeah,
you weird cyber paranoid.
Right. Yes, yeah, I can send. I can link you in somehow. However you're on Nexus. All right, but so thanks to everyone for hanging with us in the chat, and we will do this again next week. So we'll be back with the weekly, but before then, we'll be back with some Daggerheart and some more Outgunned. So we've got a Friday and a Wednesday session still coming up. So we will see you then. So take care and be back soon.
Bye.
Goodbye.